What up, everyone? This is Jack Slater, the man with a plan, and I'm joined with my friend today, Mr. Magnus. And today, since we've been tripping, dipping, and going through different worlds, going through different multiverses and this and that, my friend from a different plane and I are going to go over your universes, different Green Lanterns, shows, movies, iconic appearances, and everything like that. This is a free flow conversation. We're going to see how it goes, see how it flows. And just so you know, your main man's here. All right, Mr. Magnus, what do you think about the Green Lantern so far? You know that I'm down with the yellow, but you know I was a Green Lantern at one point and another. So,
well, I gotta say that Guy Gardner needs moving, just straight out. I mean, he has the attitude because we already have the straight and narrow Superman. You know, you have Batman, which is darker, but you don't really have anyone as fun except for Aquaman. But they've made him even extra fun. That it seems like Guy Gardner would be the Green Lantern for a new Green Lantern movie.
Well, in the Green Lantern series, they had him actually for a while for an episode. It's called The New Guy. But they are talking about making a Green Lantern movie, like sort of a buddy cop movie.
Okay.
I know for a fact Jon Stewart's going to be in it.
Oh, I love me some Jon Stewart.
But it's probably either going to be Hal Jordan or someone else like that.
Yeah.
Although in the Green Lantern Corps, when Jeff Johns was writing early on, he did have Gardner and Kyle Rayner in that. That was actually pretty good.
Yeah.
And I do believe Jordan and Stewart were partners in the other Green Lantern comic.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And probably some of the best Green Lantern comics is when they just team up with other Green Lanterns and travel around the universe, well, in their own sectors they're supposed to protect. And that there's 2 and sometimes even 3 Green Lanterns.
What? Like, since you brought up Jon Stewart, when I enjoy Jon Stewart the most because he's kind of a hard character to get to know.
Yeah.
Because, like, I was reading during Mosaic where he blew up that planet. He was real depressed. So I didn't like the Jon Stewart that I was reading at that point.
Yeah.
Where I really got to know him was the Justice League cartoons.
Oh, yeah.
And I did enjoy his relationship with Hawkgirl.
Yeah, that was actually something that they even played around with more when they went into the future, and him and Hawkgirl had a son.
Oh, well, yeah, when Batman and Batman met.
Yeah.
Days of Future Past. Check out the Justice League cartoons. Very tight.
Yeah.
DC, subscribe.
But, yeah, in the Justice League series, it felt very natural because they had it progress, and they had the luxury of it being a TV series. But, you know, they let it happen.
Also, Vixen. Like, they also had the side, story of Vixen. And Vixen's nothing to sneeze at.
Oh, yeah.
Whew, man. You know what? I don't envy that man's position.
Yeah.
I mean, why choose one? Why not let East beat West? Why not make human-alien relations better for the world?
Yeah.
Why couldn't Jon Stewart be my ambassador? Hell, Jordan would have done it, but no. The man that watches Old Yeller just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that dude. He watches Old Yeller.
Yeah.
I don't know. I liked he was a staunch Green Lantern.
Yeah, he was very straight and narrow. Even though he had military training, just like Hal Jordan, they were very much so different.
Well, he was a Marine, sniper.
Yeah. And, you know, but he always had that soldier boy attitude. And he kind of had it with his very straightforward style of using the ring.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
He was also an architect too. His constructs were some of the strongest.
Yeah.
What I thought interesting, and most people seem to gloss over this fact about him, is that I found it interesting during the War of Light that he had the ring of compassion.
Yeah.
Because he had to strive to master it.
Yeah.
And he had such power, problems focusing it. But once he did, he became very powerful.
Yeah.
And for those out there, the compassion ring doesn't exactly have a light. He feeds off the other lights around it. So there's a yellow ring user and a blue ring user or a green ring user. He'd be able to feed off the light that's surrounding it.
Yeah.
But Jon Stewart actually came through on that one and was able to fire one of the first constructs from it. I thought it was cool.
Sure.
That's one thing that I do appreciate about Jon Stewart,
Yeah.
I found that very interesting about him. But one of my favorites, though, is Guy Gardner.
Yes.
Since you brought up him, I've done shows about Guy Gardner. I've sang this man's praises. He's one of my favorite characters.
Okay. If memory serves me right, I can't quite remember this. Is it true that Guy Gardner was later stated that he was supposed to be the original Green Lantern that the Ring was going to pick, but he was comatose.
No, okay.
Okay, so my memory does not serve me right.
No, he became comatose.
Okay.
This is what happened. Hal Jordan sort of quit, fired, whatever you want to call it.
All right.
And they picked Guy Gardner to do it. And what happened is he met Sinestro, and Sinestro ended up kicking his ass.
Okay.
And made him comatose for a while.
Yeah.
And that's what, quote unquote, made him crazy.
Yeah.
Or the crazy Guy Gardner.
I mean, but was his craziness wrong? Did he not own a bar?
Yeah, he ended up actually owning a pub later on when he lost the ring, and then he ended up getting transferred to Oa, and he opened a pub there too. He was the first man to bring beer to Oa, so there's always that.
Yes.
It was called Warriors, actually.
That's a good name for it.
Named after his persona when he was an alien machine for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I had all the Green Lantern memorial stuff too.
Yeah.
Which that's what made Guy so cool. You know, he was very personable.
Yeah.
He's kind of a pervert. Also, he had the yellow ring and the red ring. He actually ran the Red Lantern Corps for a while.
I mean, he is a very diverse person while sticking to his own personality as well.
Yep. I thought it was interesting they teamed up with Kyle Rayner for a while.
I mean, it could have been more of like, oh, the straight man comedy guy, but like that would have been more of like Jon Stewart and Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
Or even not even Hal Jordan would have been straight enough as for Jon Stewart, but yeah, I mean, it still worked out.
Well, Hal Jordan kind of has a lot of flaws. People tend to gloss over.
Yeah, well, I mean, his flaws is what makes him so much more of an engaging character for the writers to write for and for us to read.
Well, I remember, Magnus, you were earlier on when we were talking, you know, when we were traveling from here to there, you were talking about the failures of the movie.
Yeah. That I felt Ryan Reynolds was a good pick. He could have...
Yeah.
He was a good pick. There could have been better ones.
Yeah.
But, like, he worked out really well. I enjoyed him as the character. Yeah.
The script was what he had to work with. He actually didn't. He actually signed on before he knew what the script was.
Really?
Yes, he made that mistake.
Yes.
I remember seeing a documentary about that around. I was like, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, who doesn't want to be in a superhero movie?
Yeah, like if someone straight up asked me, hey, Jax, do you want to be Batman in this reality? I'd be like, well, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they want to cast you as the Riddler, you're still going to be all,
yeah.
You know.
I mean, I think if even somebody came up to me and it's like, oh, you know, we're doing this Batman Superman movie and it's going to have all these villains in it. We want you to be Kite Man.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I'll be Kite Man. I know that's not the best, but I'll do it.
So it'd be like, I get to be Calendar Man and Superman hits me?
Yeah.
All right, you get a close-up on my face.
Yeah. I got to go into the glider? Woo!
Yeah. I mean,
yeah, I'll
like,
take it.
Like, which comic book fan is not going to, you know, it's common sense.
Yeah.
I think that's why Affleck was, that's what I like to, I kind of feel sorry for Ben Affleck.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't have a lot to work with.
Yeah. But
like Ryan Reynolds, that's kind of what I feel about Ryan Reynolds, you know. And Affleck kind of had that same script problem just for a lot longer of a time.
Yeah.
Although Ryan Reynolds' CGI sucked, the story sucked, the characters were, yeah.
I was fine with the CGI. I mean, just even like the scene where
Parallax CGI was just.
Okay. Well, I'm talking about the Green Lantern aspect. I did like the Green Lantern aspect I know you didn't care much for Sinestro in it.
Well, I thought I would like to see him with the yellow ring a little earlier.
Yeah, I mean, he did look really good with the yellow ring on.
Like if he'd been the one to summon Parallax.
Yeah.
Like mid-movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they could have had the whole prophecy and then had him, and he's the one that brings Parallax in from the battery.
Yeah.
That would have been a nice turn, you know what I mean? It would have made the movie more fast-paced.
Yeah. Well, the problem is Parallax is the villain. Well, is one of the villains. And that the first movie, which I felt did accomplish this enough, is have the character showcase what the Green Lanterns can do, and then have the character, Hal Jordan, evolve and become, more understanding of his past and being a better character for it. And that should have been like the main thing. and that Parallax and I don't know what did they even call that villain? What was it? The senator's son?
Oh, Harold Hammond. You know, as sad as it is, they actually made him look like the comic book character. Because he's literally one big ugly ass head. I actually did a video about that, about some of the ugliest characters. I mentioned him. Check that out. Rewind on my show and watch it. But he's like literally just a big head that drools on himself. That's incredibly psychic. Can't move his body. But he has incredible psychic powers. Like even to tap into the force field, the mind of the Green Lanterns, and even sometimes the Martian. So it's basically how they say in the song, Debo Lottie, all head, no body.
I mean, they could have actually just had him as the character without the whole Parallax thing, because they could have had a second movie where they really dive more into the Green Lantern mythos, and that's where you start bringing Parallax.
Yeah, you see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I want to cut Harold out of it. That was my point. All like,
okay, yeah, that could have worked also.
And then have Sinestro be the main focus. You know what I mean? They could have. Well, you know how Sinestro became a bad guy, right?
Of course I do, but remind the fans.
Okay, he was on this planet, and excuse me for getting this wrong. I think it was like Cougaran.
It's another one.
Yeah, okay. Well, I've never been there myself. Okay, but up on this planet, like the governments were fighting each other. They were at war. They were destroying each other. They were basically, the government was corrupt. There was no way of saving it, so he took over and used his ring to install fear. About the government. And then there was peace. The people were fed, but they loved him. They worshipped him. You know. Because for the first time, people were fed. So even though the bad things he did, he actually did a lot of good. But hell saw this as bringing fear, which it was. And Sinestro was debunked and sent to the Quad Galaxy, where they made this little handy toy. And he came back.
I mean, so I guess we should mention that even though fear and then, rage and all that, it's more often than not evil, but it's not inherently evil.
No, it's not.
And that, like, rage, what is the main rage Red Lantern?
Atrocitus.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken out vengeance on very terrible beings.
Guy Gardner as well.
Yeah.
But Atrocitus also, like, he's done horrible things, too. In order to keep his crown. Like in the Green Lantern animated series, since we're expanding the world of Green Lantern, spoilers, this is a whole spoiler thing. If you watch my show, I drop spoilers all the time, so get used to it. Wham wham. The character Razor, Atrocitus actually killed his girlfriend because he sensed the great rage in him and blamed it on the Green Lanterns, just so he could have him as a recruit. But there, like I said, Guy Gardner actually had like a pure rage. Supergirl was a Red Lantern for a while. Which was freaking awesome. I really loved that. I was like, I was just shitting my pants when I was reading that.
I mean, she looks good, bad. Well, I mean, when was it? Like mid-2000s, where the Darkseid had her and
the like black leather outfit. Good girls go bad.
Oh, yeah, I mean, she actually makes a good villain. Not anything really for Golden Age or Silver Age Supergirl. She was a lot more clean, and that one had worked. But like the newer one,
when Miss Marvel went bad in Final Crisis. Oh my God, when she switched to the black outfit. I love that. I love it when bad girls.
But so I think, at least for the Green Lantern movie, not a popular review, but they had actually quite a few good aspects, and you can see the good movie there. It just didn't go there.
Yeah, I know. Like, okay, Kilowog, the actor they picked for Kilowog, I think it was Duncan Clark. The voice, it could be wrong.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, well, like they had good actors. It's just the CGI was just a little bunky, and the script just sucked. The script went nowhere, and you could tell mid-movie they just went, because the fight at the end was horrible. I mean, like, it was so original 1984 Supergirl, horrible.
I mean, kill the big bad with the sun.
Why don't you just take your S and throw it? Superman 2, where they take the plastic guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was trying to think. One of the Superman movies, didn't they throw someone in the sun? They threw something in the sun?
That was on part 4. That was Quest for Peace.
That's right. They did that.
Known as the crappiest movie, and it wasn't done by Warner Brothers. It was done by a studio called Canon.
Yeah.
And I think it was Canon. They were known for wasting money. They did American Ninja, which is sad. That's actually my favorite out of the franchise. The only movie I could. They've done a lot of other weird movies and stuff like that. Oh, they did Masters of the Universe.
That movie, once I bring back to Green Lantern movie, it had actually a lot of good parts. You could see the good movie. I'm brainfarting his name. Drago.
Lundgren.
Dolph Lundgren. He actually made a really good He-Man. Not really as much in the acting. Well, I mean,
believe it or not, he did not want. He hated that part.
I believe it.
I don't know. The guy that played Skeletor is cool.
Oh yeah. Well, even the makeup was good, and whoever played Evil Lynn did really well.
Well, in He-Man, I'm a Man-at-Arms fan.
Mm-hmm.
I never was a big Prince Adam fan.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
That's understandable.
Even the new cartoon they did, the one with Christopher Yost. Yeah. But we're talking about Green Lanterns.
We are talking about Green Lanterns.
But we're going off a tangent here. But this is what this part's for.
Yeah.
This is one of those videos where we're just going to let it flow. We want people to get to know the different people from the multiverse. I've been promising guests. So, here we are. Now, we haven't been giving Hal Jordan, I guess, the attention that some people feel that he deserves.
Yeah. Well, we were mentioning his flaws. His flaws allowed him to become Parallax, not the entity, but a villain. But that
his biggest
really
flaws are, in my opinion, women. I'm not gonna.
I mean, that could be many heroes' flaws, such as
no, but that man is a
Stark.
straight out slut. Like, I mean, like some man, it just happens. Okay, like Bruce. Okay, I'm sorry, Batman. Sorry, Batman. Okay,
Batman.
Talia al Ghul. You know, like roofies him. Like she straight up roofies him.
Oh yeah.
You know, to get Damien.
Yeah.
You know, like Nightwing. That happened in Nightwing.
Well, I mean, Nightwing's another one of those very sexually active heroes.
Yeah, but he got dope too by the chick. Like, I'm telling you, it's in the comics. Seriously.
Yeah.
I can't think of the chick, but literally, she was all worn down. She got on top of him, just had her way with him. Mm-hmm. Literally, men get.
I think this is a great topic for another time, but
Green
Lantern.
Yeah, but I'm just telling you, Hal Jordan's a slut, though.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, he had 2 members of the Sirens at the same time.
Yeah.
I get better, mwah. And you know, I gotta give it up to him. You know.
Yeah.
He loves women.
Yes.
Although I guess Carol Ferris is his love, or I guess sort of his love.
Doesn't really matter. I mean, he's gonna jump around anyways.
Well, Jeff Johns, before the reality shift, in a very, very last issue, it was a throwaway issue before they shift over to Rebirth, did like an ending for everyone.
No, I did not realize that.
And it was kind of cool. Jon Stewart actually became president.
He'd be a good president.
It was interesting. He was an older man.
Yeah.
He was like in his 60s. He was like George Bush status when he got elected.
Yeah.
You know, but he was one of the first ones to bridge the Justice League and the government together.
Sure.
And he still had his ring.
Yeah.
Guy Gardner became a beer-drinking, bar-dwelling, alien bar area, you know. And he had long gray hair and a big old beard.
Yeah.
And he was still kicking ass in different bars.
Yeah.
And they still called him the Warrior, even though he wore the, you know.
Yeah.
And let's see. Hal Jordan ended up marrying Ferris, and she still had her ring.
Yeah. They
were older. They had kids. And Kyle, they turned Kyle into Jesus. Hey, there's no other way.
We're talking about Kyle?
Rayner, yeah, where he's the White Lantern. He's healing people.
Yeah.
Like in the comic, he has like long hair and a beard. I mean, you gotta assume.
Yeah. I mean,
he seems by the way, Klingon Grodd, highly recommended. Picked it up on DS9.
From Quarks?
Of course, I love that man.
Yes. So, but Kyle Rayner, I do find an interesting enough character. He's also has flaws, but in different ways. He seems to be a very human character that when something extreme happens, he breaks down. And that's something a lot of people do. But, like, as far as the DC heroes, they're a lot more tough and gruff, and so he doesn't quite.
I do
match a lot of
appreciate
them.
his humanity. I like his relationship with Ganthet.
Mhm.
In the comics, it's more like a father-son relationship.
Yeah,
And later on, it gets tested when Ganthet becomes evil, which I thought was cool.
yeah,
Like, I didn't totally hate everything about Kyle. It's just they made everything so easy for him,
yeah,
at first.
yeah. It's kind of like he's the chosen one.
But during the Sinestro War, he struggled. That's why I actually started to like the character, where he started to have more struggle,
Yeah,
where he was parallaxed for a while, and he actually had to see through that
yeah,
with Hal Jordan's help,
yeah.
of course. But,
And he has had some extreme issues, such as I believe it was his girlfriend that was
two of them.
Yeah, shoved into a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, that famous refrigerator by
Mhm.
Geoforce. No, it wasn't Geoforce. Major Disaster.
Yeah, and was that issue written by Gail Simone? Does that sound right? No. Gail
No,
Simone
no.
criticized it, I believe.
Yeah. Didn't she work on Aquaman for a while? Well, a lot of these writers get bounced
Yeah.
around, so it's
But
kind of...
but then I believe there was at one point he absorbed Jade. Does that sound right?
It's so hard to say because, like, Jade is another one of those characters... Since we're talking about Green Lanterns...
She
okay,
is a Green
the
Lantern.
Yeah, she's a Green Lantern, but she's also the daughter of
Alan
the
Scott.
original Green Lantern, Alan Scott, who we haven't mentioned in this whole Green Lantern
which
project.
his powers are explained as
Magic.
magic based, which I love
Yeah, so do I.
because it makes it seem like that the Guardians have been able to tap into the power with the battery, but like the power exists. Like they didn't make it.
Well, it taps into magic.
Yeah, but
Theirs
it's-
tap into will.
Yeah, but like he accomplishes the exact same thing with magic.
Although, at first, his weakness was wood.
Wood, and it was still yellow, right? I believe
No,
it was wood.
no,
it was just wood.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other Green Lanterns were yellow. That's why they were talking about in Big Bang that you could just kill a Green Lantern with a number 2 pencil.
Yep.
That's where that joke comes from.
Yeah.
But it's for you guys out there that didn't get it.
I think I got it. But yeah, and well, Pink Sapphire, is that her name?
Oh, the Star Sapphire? Yeah.
Sapphire, thank you. It was known for a very long time before they came out with all the colors. Where it's like,
Oh, yeah.
oh, she is a Pink Lantern, and then was like, sure, why not? That sounds good.
Oh, yeah,
I
that-
like that.
for
But
the,
then
like,
nobody's
80s,
like,
70s,
where are
yeah.
all the other lanterns? And like nobody questioned it. They're
Well,
like,
yeah, because it was stone. It wasn't a ring at first.
yeah.
Yeah.
But like, even though it was like Pink Lantern, it's like, love it, you know. And
Then,
everyone accepted it at face value, and it's just like people were like, expand, and nobody said that.
That's what I love about Jeff Johns. He has an ability to expand on something very small. Take Black Hand. A B villain at C.
Yeah.
Not even C, let's say D. And he took it and expanded this whole mythology around Black Hand. And he created the Blackest Night, the Black Lantern rings, the War of the Rings.
Yeah.
And one of my favorite characters, Larfleeze, out of the whole. The Orange Lantern, he actually based him on the Muppets, which I thought was just awesome. He wanted to make like a Muppet character, and I just like, that man can do no wrong in my eyes.
Yeah. But but I think going back to Kyle Rayner, he just needs the right writer.
Yeah, that's why I liked in the Green Lantern Corps. It was very balanced between the two.
Yeah.
Like he balanced Guy Gardner's kind of like snarkiness, you know what I mean, with that optimistic. So much so that I actually felt that point where they thought Kyle Rayner died and the red ring landed on Guy Gardner.
Yeah.
You know, because he felt all that pain. I thought that was an earned. You know, because sometimes they force things, you know, or Aunt May died, or you don't know if she's gonna die.
It needs to be natural.
Yeah.
Let it happen if it happens.
And
Don't
I actually
make
felt
it
that
happen.
point, you know, like like Snyder. Snyder is another great example. Hickman too, where the story breathes and you could feel that, like when the Human Torch died and they had that whole thing with Richards and Spider-Man talking,
Yeah.
it was earned, and that's a good point of a comic book like storyteller, where it's earned and the art matches it. And that Green Lantern Corps, wonderful, like the art matched it. Ran a Lantern, very awesome.
Yeah. Well, there is always the interesting question, because I think they've only posed the question a few times in the actual comic books, is no, everybody can't help but notice there's a lot of human Green Lanterns, and it's just like
5 now, actually, with Jessica Cruz. No, 6. 6. What's his name? Shabazz. Shabazz is in it. Yeah.
yeah, and it's just like everywhere else gets 2.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
2 per sector. Well, they claim the entities here. Like they revealed that in Brightest Night that it was the Earth is the real center of the universe instead of Oa.
I mean, it would explain why just all these metas or enhanced entities are there. And it's just, and they need extra protection.
And then there's a lot of stuff happens there too. Earth is like the central point of a lot of. I mean, look at all these shows, Doctor Who, all this,
Yeah.
Especially for the Green Lanterns.
Yeah.
Oh man. So, what else do you want to talk about? The rings, different abilities, different characters.
But the Guardians are jerks. They have always been jerks. There's always like 1 or 2 that aren't, and the rest are.
I enjoy that Guy Gardner calls them the Blue Meanies.
They're just the worst. It's just like they have an amazing core of heroes, and it's run just by authoritarian, utilitarian race that it does make sense. It's just like they have to work with so much, and they know so much,
and they purge their emotions too.
Oh, yeah, but it seems like they're not likable characters.
No,
they're not.
That's why a lot of them ended up dying, and there's like a new set of Guardians, and it turned into this whole.
Yeah, but when they died, it's like, oh no, the Guardians are dead. Whatever shall we do?
Yeah, nobody cared.
Yeah.
Actually, everyone was happy because Sinestro and Atrocitus got their day in court, so
yeah.
And at least there was that.
And speaking of Guardians, the Manhunters.
Oh,
I do love it when they appear because
no man escapes the Manhunters.
Oh yeah, because in a sense they are actually a success because they're still around. If they weren't like actually as good as they were, they would have been wiped out so long ago.
And the thing was, is like at first they said it was a malfunction, but later on you find out it wasn't. It was a rogue Guardian named Kronos that programmed them to murder all those people.
Yeah.
In District 666. I mean, come on, I love you, Jeff Johns, but damn, you could have used something a little more original.
I mean, it illustrates the point, at least. It's just like, if you're going to have these robots murder like crazy, it might as well be in 666.
Oh, yeah, and it happened so long ago, that's probably why the legend of the number is kind of like unholy, or, that would sort of make sense.
Yeah.
Since it happened so long ago. But the Manhunters, I find cool. I loved them in the cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, I really did. Like, I loved how they were able to... Oh, you read when Cyborg was running them, right? The Cyborg Superman?
Mm-hmm.
When he was in control?
Because it seems to make sense.
During the Yellow Lanterns, phase, he actually takes control of the Manhunters. And he creates them where they can absorb yellow and red or yellow and green energy.
Yeah.
Like batteries.
Yeah.
And they end up worshiping him. And all he wants to do is die, and he can never die. Mm-hmm. And that's the sad part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that very cool. He made a great leader for them. And it's kind of sad they never carried that on, because I thought he was a very viable leader and a very real threat to the Manhunters. Both to the Green Lanterns and Superman.
Yeah.
But I love how, Cyborg Superman's just on the Green Lantern thing. He started out as a Superman villain.
Yeah.
But he's known now as a Green Lantern villain.
Yeah.
He's still Cyborg Superman. But he's more known now as just a straight-on Green Lantern villain, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think they've done a lot of work with Superman for a few years, but he really hit his stride in the Green Lantern comics.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just me, but I thought it was a very useful, use of a villain that really I felt wasn't getting play.
Yeah.
That's what I love about the Green Lantern comics. Sometimes they bring these characters just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They just have so much more value.
And then also, it's just it has such a wide net because it's not just Earth most of the time. It is just Earth. But
that's what I liked about
everywhere.
the Corps. Yeah. Having the different characters.
Yeah.
Like Arisha. I can... what's Astro's daughter's name? Sanat?
Sounds about right.
Kilowog.
Yeah.
See,
I mean, he's always a favorite.
Yeah, that's what I loved about, like, back in the day when it was Green Lantern Corps. You had Earth, and then you had the universe.
Yeah.
And there was always a new, like, different alien or something cool.
Yeah.
And I'm a big Mogo fan. You know, I love Mogo. And his small little, like, he had a partner that was like a wasp. I thought that was so cool.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, Isle is a Green Lantern, or at least there's a planet that's a Green Lantern.
Yeah,
right?
Mogo.
Yeah. Okay. No, but that's why that popped in my head.
Oh, yeah, dude. Oh, there was a squirrel that was a Green Lantern.
Yeah, I mean, there was a diamond guy.
Oh, that guy was cool.
Yeah.
Oh, his name escapes me, but yeah, I know what you're
I
talking
don't
about.
think I've ever known his name. I just, when there's always just like, all the Green Lanterns go! And, it's just like, Diamond dude in the background, and there's like a dog dude.
Oh, Nort.
North.
That guy's like a moron. They did him justice in Batman Brave and the Bold.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, Batman Brave and the Bold is another one where Guy Gardner appears. And the iconic scene where Batman sucker punches Guy Gardner, in my opinion. Because Guy Gardner can take Batman in one punch. So I'm told. I've sat with Guy many nights, and he swears to me that he's knocked out Batman in one punch.
Yeah.
Superman, too.
I mean, that's sort of the thing with Batman. Is like, if he has time to prepare, but if he doesn't, I mean, there's been many times where he's been defeated by more mundane villains. But then, like, against a Green Lantern, it's like it's going to be a lot more tough
He's
if
actually
just jump into action.
Worn that ring a couple times in a couple different shows.
Yeah.
Even the comics. But he was better suited for this ring.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to be making a Green Lantern movie, and my feelings about that are kind of mixed. DC has a real problem with kind of making dark characters light and light characters really dark. They have, and then they switch directors, and like Wonder Woman was a pretty good movie, even though it was supposed to be done in World War II, not one. Great movie though, good movie. Aquaman,
Aquaman was fun. It was nothing new, nothing special. It was fun.
It was fun, but Justice League was
just
Justice League. Yeah, after Justice League, which was kind of a, but two directors, you can only work with so much.
At least it was really cool, going back to Green Lantern, in the Justice League movie, them showing what kind of looked like a cleric, like D&D cleric Green Lantern.
Yeah.
That looked really cool.
I saw that.
Yeah.
Which did look cool. I was kind of hoping they would bring Green Lantern in the Justice League. That's why I was kind of roundabouting to it.
Yeah.
Or maybe just like a quick appearance, or like the ring coming down.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting, like maybe not a Green Lantern, but the ring maybe showing up at the end or mid-movie, and it finds Hal Jordan and he shows up at the end. Or, like, because I heard it was going to be a 2-part movie at first.
Yeah.
So I thought maybe it would show up at the end, and then like he'd be in part 2.
Yeah.
Or something like that. That's what I was kind of hoping for. And it would sort of make sense with the Justice League. Because the original Justice League was, from my memory, The Martian, Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and Wonder Woman. Mm-hmm. They were on the original cover.
Yeah.
It was them.
With Star Conqueror?
Yeah, Starro. Yeah. So I thought that would be cool, like, if it ended with Green Lantern.
Yeah.
Or, like, another favorite Green Lantern appearance is in New Frontier. I thought that was one of the titular Hal Jordan appearances. Have you seen that one?
Mm-mm.
It's set in the 50s, like right after World War II. It's like because in the comics, how like they say the heroes existed in the 40s and then they restarted. Well, this is them dealing with McCarthyism.
Yeah.
And what happens is they pass a bill against superheroes, and our man from the JSA ends up getting murdered because of it. Mm-hmm. And they force a lot of the heroes to retire, except for like Batman. Wonder Woman swears allegiance to the government, but she's not really. Yeah. And Superman's kind of like the stooge, and Green Lantern is actually a pilot, and he ends up getting into a war, or in the war in Korea, and he is famous for getting in and out of the missions, but not shooting anyone down in the years that he served, until he crashed and he got into a ditch with someone. He had to kill him to survive.
Yeah.
And that ended up banning him from space programs. But later on, it goes through a whole arc where he ends up going with Ferris and ends up trying to go to the moon, and they end up trying to kill the Martians, the aliens.
Yeah.
and this whole arc where he gets the ring almost at the end of the movie, but when he gets the ring, you're like, oh my god, he saves the day.
Yeah.
You know, it really made sense. It's a really good movie to watch. A lot of the characters actually shine in that movie. That's actually what makes it such a comic book classic. The New Frontier, another cartoon to check out. Highly recommend it. That's another part where like the Green Lantern really shined, and it's his story arc. He's not the Green Lantern towards like maybe the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And by that point, it makes so much sense because the story arc is so well played.
Yeah.
The Barry Allen story arc is actually pretty good too. All set in the 50s.
Yeah.
Really awesome. Batman, like you can. It was written by one of the guys that did Justice League.
Okay.
So it really had that feel where every character's story arc was finely tuned and well played.
Yeah.
And it matched the comic because you wrote the comic too. So the Green Lantern arc was really well written in that.
Yeah.
And towards the end, it set up room for other Green Lanterns. I thought that was so. That was one of my favorite Hal Jordan appearances.
Yeah.
Oh, since we're talking about Hal Jordan, what's his name? Nathan Fillion.
Mm-hmm.
That man should be Hal Jordan for the next 10 years at least.
Has he ever agreed to? Because people have been saying that for a long time.
He's been in two cartoons.
Okay.
Oh, he's been in a few of the new Justice League cartoons. Mm-hmm. He was in the recent one with Doomsday.
Okay.
The new Doomsday ones.
Yeah.
So he's been Green Lantern several times already.
Okay.
And I think he has the voice for it.
Sure.
He's a big fan. He's a big fan.
Yeah.
He's a big geek. Loves the mythology. And I think bottom like dollar, if you're gonna have someone do the voice, have it someone that really loves the character.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why they keep calling him back, because he's just grateful.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that gratitude ought to be rewarded.
Yeah.
Like Kevin Conway,
yeah,
Mark Hamill. Like they like working with one, and they have a partnership.
Sure.
And I enjoy that kind of loyalty.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of loyalty and love for a script and love for a character ought to be rewarded. So I'm glad that Nathan Fillion is beginning his props as Green Lantern, and I hope to see him more in different comics or cartoons, because I love his voice as Hal Jordan. And I love the fact that he loves the part, respects the part. I really appreciate. I can't remember who's the original Hal Jordan. I want to say Super Friends. I think was the first appearance that I remember of Hal Jordan.
I don't remember.
Because I remember he was in Super Friends, and I do not remember the actor that played his voice. I think he was a throwaway actor.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's kind of nice how far the character's actually evolved.
Yeah.
From being like a standstill character and the whole Green Lantern mythos. Along, like you said, with Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman never really got his props either. I'm glad these characters, Green Lantern, Aquaman, are actually finally getting their day in the sun. I'm looking forward to the Green Lantern Corpse movie, for example.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that it's good.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a lot of Green Lantern series that are really worth reading.
Yeah.
People always say Dawn, Rebirth, of course, Blackest Night.
Yeah.
Mosaic, if you want to go way back before the time of Johns. You know, anything with Green Arrow and Green Lantern.
Oh yeah.
The Dennis O'Neil time. Heroes on the Road, wasn't that it? I think
doesn't sound familiar.
Because it was when Hal Jordan and Green Arrow hit the road together. That's when they find out that Speedy was a heroin addict.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That whole famous story arc.
Yeah, that and just that famous cover also.
Yeah. And then Hal Jordan just rubbing it into, and that's what made Hal Jordan such an asshole. I think his personality was really carved at that point. Yeah. Since we're talking about Green Lantern, that was one of the titular points I think for both Green Lantern and Green Arrow. It sort of made their characters. You know, because I think Green Arrow was one of those characters like, ha, I am Robin, you know.
Yeah.
I think that kind of shaped them both.
Yeah.
Although, Hal kind of evolved a little bit more. Especially after Parallax.
Yeah. Well, it kind of like had to be broken down to be built back up.
Yeah, of course. The character also got stale, too.
Yeah.
That's why they decided to kill him.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest, Green Lantern was in a slump.
Yeah.
They only had so many space stories. They ran out of ideas.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and them being the comic book industry being pushed into a corner with these, and it's just like, well, let's just do something drastic as a swan song. And, you know, crank out a few more issues for that, and be done with it, move on to something else, like with the death of Superman, where it's just like, oh, it's sold like hotcakes. Why do we need to get rid of them now? So
Or Batman having his back broken.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dude, Azrael.
No.
Like, as a side note, in the Batman cartoons, the Green Lantern ring was mentioned, and he didn't get it to the end. And I love that Penguin actually gets the ring in the cartoon.
Mm.
Since we're bringing up Green Lanterns, I want to add that in as a side note. It is funny as hell to watch Penguin with the green ring.
Yeah.
Just like wild out there characters that have had the ring. I just want to throw that out there. Since we're talking about the cartoons and celebrating everything Green Lantern.
Yeah, it goes back to what I was saying. It's like all these powers aren't inherently good or evil. They are gravitated towards these individuals who act a certain way, like people who are very willful, are willing to stand up against oppression and tyranny, and so they are, of course, good people. But it could potentially just be anyone. Like, I could imagine Lex Luthor with a Green Lantern ring.
Yeah, he had the orange ring. Ooh, perfect example. During Blackest Night, Mira, Aquaman's wife, ended up getting a red ring.
Yeah.
And she's a good guy.
Yeah.
The ring chooses who I like the way Sinestro put it. The ring chooses who the ring chooses.
Yeah.
Adam became a compassion person. His wife murdered all those people. Personally, when I read The Blackest Night, I thought the shittiest choice. Adam was compassionate, but they never said much about compassion. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess. Everything else made sense. Barry Allen, blue ring, hope, made sense.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor, greed, made sense. Scarecrow, yellow ring, made sense.
Yeah, that's probably the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah. You see, Gaflet welcomed himself to the Green Lantern Corps. He's a guardian, of course he can,
Yeah.
But that one, I was like, okay, I don't know. Because they didn't really explain the compassion till later.
Yeah.
Like how they were taking sociopaths and kind of wiping their minds and enslaving them, sort of.
Yeah.
So does that make Adam a sociopath, or does it make him a compassionate person?
Did he not alter Batman's brain to make him forget? And,
well, that was a group vote. Hal Jordan was actually in on that one, too.
Yeah.
That comes from Identity Crisis.
You know who would have been cool with that? Jon Stewart.
Jon Stewart.
Just saying. He is the Green Lantern we need on top of Guy Gardner. We need both those Green Lanterns.
Yeah. I still think, their son was cool. Him and Hawkgirl's son.
Mm-hmm.
Was Silverhawk? Or was it Hawkman? Was he Hawkman or Silverhawk? Because he had this badass silver costume.
Yeah.
And I love how he was he had Shayura's powers, but he had Jon Stewart's kind of core personality. And one of the favorite quotes that I have from Jon Stewart actually comes from that one, where the son tells him, "Well, what do you do when you have the weight of the world on your shoulders?" And Jon Stewart comes up behind him and says, "You plant your feet."
Yeah.
Which is a staple of both, not only John, but the way the Green Lanterns work.
Yeah.
Or being a hero, you plant your feet.
Yeah.
And I thought that just summed up John's personality perfect.
Yeah.
That is actually one of my favorite, Jon Stewart moments. I did a list where Jon Stewart was low on the human scale for my characters. Mm-hmm. But that was one of my favorite Jon Stewart moments. I joke around about Jon Stewart. I make fun of him a lot on my show, but I respect the man.
Yeah.
And that was my favorite Jon Stewart scene.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so memorable. And then the cartoon after where he was talking to Batman about these two different women problems.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was funny too.
Yeah.
It's just funny, Batman and him in the Justice League kind of became bros.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting that it's the straight man and the even more straight man, and the even more straight man is the one who brings the actual comedic dialogue.
Yeah.
Because it's just so straight and deadpan.
Yeah, and then Jon Stewart's a little more playful with him, especially when he's talking about Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
I love that scene where Jon Stewart's grilling. He's like, "Well, what about your woman?" He's like, "Diana's a wonderful woman.
Yeah.
I respect her immensely."
Yeah.
And then he just comes up behind him "Oh, well, keep going." And Jon Stewart's just sitting there going,
mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that, dude. I like the Justice League, dude. The cartoons are just one of my favorites, dude. They did so well and bringing so many different elements together.
Yeah.
I love the relationship between Jon Stewart and the Flash, for example.
Yes.
That was really cool. I grew up with Wally West.
Yeah.
Okay, like I knew who Barry Allen was. Okay, but like the first issues I had were Wally. I grew up with Wally.
Yeah.
So I loved he was in the cartoons. And Jon Stewart I barely knew, but I got to know him through the cartoons and with Wally, and I love their relationship. Like I love after a while they started quipping, I've been spending too much time with Wally, or you know.
Well, wasn't it in the episode where it had the sort of the reality TV show guy where he's just blasting superheroes?
Oh, yeah.
It was a Flash and Green Lantern watching it,
right?
right?
Where Flash gets that van, that ridiculous van.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that.
Yeah.
That was a cool van, by the way. Watch that watch the show. I'm gonna say it again. Free spot for DC.com. Subscribe. Worth the money.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Yeah. Hashtag please sponsor us. Doom Patrol.
But yeah, and I guess the advantage of the idea of Green Lantern is they could always just make more characters. It's hard to make more Batmans.
They've tried.
Yeah, another Wonder Woman. They've tried that, and
well, they've tried replacing Hal Jordan. They've always had to bring back Jordan, because they had Hal Jordan gone for almost 10 years. I mean, they've had to bring him back.
Yeah,
just like Batman. Nightwing actually played a good Batman.
Yeah.
There was
he doesn't like being Batman. That is the problem.
Prodigal Son. That was it. Great series.
Yeah.
Well, he doesn't like it, but
the only one who wants to be Batman is Damian.
Oh, Tim Drake too.
Does he want to be Batman?
They revealed that later. He became like an evil Batman in the comics, who came back in time to kill someone. It was a whole thing. Really cool, real ruthless.
Yeah. Well, they also showed, going off on the side, in
this is what this show's for.
In Teen Titans, where the Teen Titans went into the future to help the Legion of Superheroes, and then they went back in the past. They didn't go back far enough, and they bumped into their future selves that were overpowered compared to them.
Yeah.
But that Tim Drake became Batman with a gun, and he was just much more ruthless because just
in the comics too. Yeah.
And so it's just and Tim Drake's I would never do that. I don't know what events would cause me to do this. And, well, that was all their take on me being their jerk future selves.
Well, I thought what was interesting is, during Battle for the Cow, Jason Todd became a gun-toting Batman.
Mm-hmm. Which works.
Yeah.
But, Green Lantern.
Well, this is what the show's for. Batman is part of the Green Lantern world. We're talking about the world of DC. We're also talking about Green Lantern. This is what this show's for, so we can expand, have a chat, a conversation for all those out there watching, so you guys get a little info, understand the characters that you like reading about.
Sure. And, well, that's one thing about comic books is when people are like, where do I start? I've never read a comic book. It's you will start just anywhere, and the thing is, it will branch off.
Yeah, it always does.
That. And when comic book nerds talk about comic books, it will happen for hours, and it won't be one straight idea. No. It will change every 2 minutes.
Well, that's the best part, because everything kind of leads into another thing.
Sure.
And
it makes it a more large and breathing world, that it's its own ecosystem.
That's what I love about the DC universe. The Justice League cartoons. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of great the Teen Titan cartoons. You can sit here and list the numerous media that they've done over the years, aside from the movies.
I mean, Marvel owns the movie.
Yes, but DC makes a better cartoon.
Yeah,
because the Avenger cartoon's okay, but they're owned by Disney. DC's been with Warner Brothers so long that Warner gives them the more freedom.
Yeah,
to do what they want to do.
Yeah,
and
plus they have their sea legs with it. It's just been being done for so long, and they do it good. They just have to look at what everyone else did. It's we need to mostly do that.
Yeah, of course. Well, hopefully they could get the Green Lantern movie off. I would like to see a second season of the animated Green Lantern. Get off your asses and make that. I'm subscribing to your channel. Do that for me. Why not do that for me? Oh, of course, I love the Young Justice, but there's no Green Lantern in that. That would actually be cool if they brought in Jessica Cruz.
Yeah, that would actually
The
work out
younger
perfectly.
Green Lantern?
Yeah.
I mean, like, she's actually one of the first Latina characters that are in there.
Yeah.
I think, like, to bring her in, or have, like, a Green Ring actually land on someone new.
Yeah.
Let's see, like, they have Hal Jordan, maybe Guy Gardner at this point, maybe Kyle Rayner.
Mm-hmm.
He'd be, like, at that point right now. Oh, well, he was a member of Teen Titans. For a while. Like in the late 90s with the Blue Beetle, he was a member for a while. Like it was short lived, but that would be cool.
Yeah.
To bring in like maybe Kyle Rayner because they're barely bringing in spoilers. If you haven't seen it, I'm gonna tell you now. Spoilers. They brought in Cyborg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so wouldn't that be cool? They brought in Kyle Rayner.
Yeah.
Since, you know, you've been talking about him. That would because I've seen Stewart. I've seen Hal Jordan, so I'm gonna assume Guy Gardner is somewhere there. So wouldn't it be cool if they added in Kyle?
Yeah.
That would really balance out the league because I think they're missing a Green Lantern presence.
Yeah.
And since we've been bringing that up, I really think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, and Green Lantern helps open up the universe even more.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's because they're doing this whole thing, spoilers, about Apocalypse, you know, and I think a Green Lantern will really help. Well, how are we going to get there?
Yeah.
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
How do we know our way around? The ring. You know, it'd be really cool if that was a surprise. And if it was a surprise, you heard us predict. If that happens, you heard us predicted here first, ladies and gentlemen. DC, hold your applause. Just throw us money. But yeah, something like that. Like I said, I've loved the Green Lantern mythology. I'm very glad. I'm very proud that it keeps going and going. I'm hopeful for the new issues. I'm very... it's been good, but it could be better. I would like to see maybe more issues with alien characters. Maybe a Kilowog series, like
Sure.
not a whole one, but maybe a 6-part. Because we left Kilowog out of this whole discussion.
Yeah.
Maybe a 6-part Kilowog series.
Yeah, I mean, he's the big buff alien pig that calls everyone poozers.
Yep, like the Sergeant Slaughter of the group.
Yeah. And, like, pretty much whenever, like, it seems like he's the character that gets, like, suckered punch, but then comes back later where it's just, like, just comes in and manhandling.
Yep.
Like, does one of two things like that.
They did him justice in the Green Lantern series.
Yeah.
Well, like I keep telling you, it's worth seeing because they really did a great job on exploring who Kilowog was, merits and flaws.
Yeah.
And he was a member of the Justice League after he lost his ring.
Oh.
He was on Earth. Because you remember how Jordan killed everyone, they lost the rings, and blah, blah, blah. Or, like, there's always points where the rings disappear and they come back.
Yeah.
He was an engineer for the Justice League when Guy Gardner was the main Green Lantern.
Yeah.
They got into a fist fight in one of the comics. And Kilowog hits him so hard because he's still strong.
Yeah.
Guy Gardner goes through the wall, hits a picture of Hal Jordan, and it falls right on him. And his head's sticking out of that. He's like, you did that on purpose. He's all, no, Poozer, but it's sure funny.
Yeah.
Had I known, I would have hit you harder.
Yeah.
You know? I love Kilowog. He's one of my favorite ones.
There was a butterfly person one.
Yeah. Like, the Green Lanterns have had so many different characters.
Yeah.
Silac, the 6-arm, I think that's his name, Silac, something like that. 6-arm alien. Mm-hmm. Sort of the computer guy.
Yeah.
Also in the Green Lantern anime series. I'm telling you guys, we need to restart that. Theme song sucked, but we need to carry it on. Well, it had that classic. You just, after the third, fourth time, you want to throw up in your own. It's not the Batman the Anime series song.
Yeah.
Real pushy.
Yeah.
But let's see. What else would you like to mention about the Green Lanterns?
Yeah, I think it's actually been pretty comprehensive so far.
Yeah, otherwise we're going to have to get into other multiverses. And that is a story for another time. And this is me, Jack Slater, and your boy Magnus. He's going to be coming back from here to there. He's coming from a different dimension. Mm-hmm. So we're going to be bringing him in from time to time, talking about this and that. And we're going to be covering different characters, different stories, and different arcs. So I hope you like this. This is the Comic Outlaw with his main man Magnus signing off. And we'll catch you on the flip side.
Later.
Yep.